Today Dung Fu invites you to listen to the Dhammapada, one of the Dharma of Buddha Shakyamuni. The 70th verse is from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in the USA. Month after month a fool may eat his food with the tip of a blade of grass, but he still is not worth a 16th part of those who have comprehended the Dhamma. The Buddha teaches that mere austerity, external restraint, or superficial acts of discipline do, yet without understanding, wisdom, and insight into the Dhamma, these practices are incomplete. The value of life is measured not by external acts alone, but by comprehension, mindfulness, and the cultivation of virtue. There was once a young monk named Kema who devoted himself to strict fasting and extreme simplicity. While his austerity was remarkable, he often felt inner emptiness and confusion. One day, the Buddha explained that wisdom and understanding of the Dhamma bring true worth, surpassing any outward act of discipline. Kema realized that mindfulness, ethical conduct, and insight were the true treasures of life, greater than any external renunciation. In meditation, observing the mind reveals the depth of understanding and clarity that comes from Dhamma practice. Discipline of the body is useful, yet it is the cultivation of awareness, compassion, and wisdom that transforms the heart. The one who comprehends the Dhamma experiences genuine peace, joy, and harmony, far surpassing external austerity. A Jataka tale illustrates this principle. A prince lived in great simplicity, eating little and wearing simple clothing. However, he lacked mindfulness, ethical understanding, and insight into suffering. Another disciple, who lived moderately but cultivated wisdom and compassion, was far more admirable in the eyes of the wise. The Buddha teaches that the value of a person comes from inner understanding rather than outward deprivation. Modern life provides similar lessons. A person may practice extreme diets, strict routines, or intense physical discipline. Yet if the mind is clouded by greed, anger, or confusion, such acts are incomplete. True worth arises when the heart is cultivated with wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. Understanding the Dhamma and embodying its teachings brings immeasurable benefit to oneself and others. Friends, the essence of this verse is a reminder that internal cultivation surpasses external display. Mere austerity, no matter how impressive, cannot replace understanding, insight, and compassionate action. The wise are those whose hearts and minds are aligned with the Dhamma, who act skillfully and cultivate virtue in every aspect of life. Even minor acts of mindfulness, ethical conduct, and compassion far outweigh external austerity. The disciple who comprehends impermanence, practices restraint wisely, and cultivates kindness and understanding, holds true value in the eyes of the Buddha. Insight into the Dhamma is the foundation of all spiritual growth, the root of genuine contentment and harmony. Daily life provides countless opportunities to cultivate understanding, acting with awareness, observing thoughts and emotions, and making choices guided by insight and compassion develops true worth. Mindfulness transforms ordinary actions into expressions of the Dhamma, nourishing the heart and bringing lasting benefit. Meditation reinforces this understanding. Watching the arising of thoughts, desires, and impulses cultivates clarity, discernment, and ethical awareness. The one who comprehends the Dhamma acts wisely, communicates compassionately, and responds skillfully to all situations. Their heart experiences contentment and joy that external austerity alone cannot provide. The Buddha emphasizes that true value lies not in superficial display, but in internal cultivation. Those who understand the impermanent nature of life, act ethically, and embody compassion hold greater worth than those who focus only on external practices. Wisdom and insight elevate the mind, cultivate peace, and bring lasting happiness. Even in the midst of difficulty or austerity, the heart that comprehends the Dhamma is unshaken. Knowledge of cause and effect, ethical understanding, and insight into impermanence guide actions, cultivate joy, and create harmony. The one who lives with mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom surpasses all who rely solely on external restraint. Friends, the teaching of this verse is profound. External austerity without comprehension of the Dhamma is incomplete. True worth arises from understanding, ethical conduct, mindfulness, and the embodiment of wisdom and compassion. Each moment becomes an opportunity to cultivate insight and virtue, nurturing the heart, mind, and the world. Month after month, a fool may eat his food with the tip of a blade of grass, but he still is not worth 1/16th part of those who have comprehended the Dhamma. The Buddha teaches that true value lies not in outward austerity or physical restraint, but in the understanding of the nature of life, mind, and suffering. A person may fast diligently or live a simple life, yet without wisdom and awareness, these practices do not lead to liberation. Comprehension of the Dhamma transforms ordinary existence into a path of insight, compassion, and inner harmony. There was a disciple named Venerable Sona, who spent years practicing extreme self-denial. He endured long periods without food and practiced severe bodily discipline. However, his mind remained restless, distracted by attachment and desire. Observing his state, the Buddha explained that external deprivation alone cannot purify the heart. True merit arises when the mind is trained, understanding the impermanence of all phenomena and cultivating kindness, patience, and clarity. In meditation, one observes thoughts, sensations, and emotions as they arise. This awareness reveals that physical austerity without understanding does not bring lasting contentment. Insight into the causes of suffering, the nature of impermanence, and the cultivation of compassion are what give life genuine value. The heart that comprehends the Dhamma is rich in wisdom, even amidst simplicity or scarcity. A Jataka story tells of a hermit who lived in the forest with minimal sustenance, surviving on small quantities of food and bare necessities. While his austerity impressed others, he lacked mindfulness and ethical clarity. Another practitioner, who lived moderately but cultivated awareness, patience, and understanding, was far more admirable in the eyes of the wise. This illustrates the Buddha's teaching that external discipline is empty without comprehension. Modern life offers a similar lesson. Individuals may follow strict routines, restrictive diets, or rigorous schedules in pursuit of virtue or health. Without understanding the mind and acting with ethical awareness, these practices remain superficial. True worth arises when every choice, whether in thought, word, or deed, aligns with wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. This inner cultivation brings peace and contentment that outward austerity cannot provide. Friends, the essence of this teaching is profound. Value is measured by the depth of understanding and the skillful application of insight, not by external appearances. The practitioner who comprehends impermanence, practices restraint with awareness, and cultivates compassion surpasses any who relies solely on physical discipline or self-denial. Inner clarity and virtue bring genuine merit that endures beyond external forms. Even small moments of mindfulness and reflection contribute to true worth. Observing one's intentions, acting ethically, and nurturing the heart with compassion are more beneficial than outward austerity. The Dhamma emphasizes the cultivation of insight and understanding as the foundation for a meaningful life. Each mindful decision strengthens the mind, uplifts the heart, and benefits all beings. Daily practice involves careful attention to thoughts, words, and actions. By living with awareness, responding with patience, and making choices grounded in ethical principles, one develops true merit. The heart experiences contentment, the mind remains calm, and each interaction becomes an expression of insight. External simplicity becomes meaningful only when coupled with comprehension of the Dhamma. Meditation deepens this understanding. Observing the arising and passing of desires, aversions, and attachments cultivates insight, clarity, and ethical awareness. The practitioner who comprehends the nature of mind and reality acts skillfully, communicates with kindness, and responds wisely. These qualities bring lasting satisfaction and inner richness, surpassing any austerity without understanding. The Buddha emphasizes that the greatest value lies in wisdom and ethical conduct. External austerity may appear impressive, but it cannot substitute for comprehension, mindfulness, and compassion. Those who cultivate understanding embody the Dhamma, bringing harmony, joy, and peace to themselves and others. Even amidst difficulties, deprivation, or scarcity, the mind that comprehends the Dhamma remains tranquil. Awareness of impermanence, ethical insight, and compassionate engagement cultivate true excellence. Every thought, word, and deed becomes a seed of virtue, producing inner joy, contentment, and harmony with the world. The Buddha teaches that mere external austerity cannot replace wisdom. A person may endure hardship, live simply, or follow strict routines, yet without insight and ethical understanding. these actions do not create lasting merit. True worth arises from the cultivation of mindfulness, compassion, and comprehension of the Dhamma, which transform life into a path of genuine contentment and peace. There was a disciple named Sariputta who observed monks practicing extreme austerity. While some appeared disciplined, they often carried restlessness, distraction, and subtle pride in their hearts. Sariputta realized that inner development, understanding the impermanent and interconnected nature of life, brings true value. He devoted himself to study, meditation, and ethical conduct, cultivating insight and compassion, which illuminated his practice far beyond mere external restraint. In meditation, observing one's mind shows that external deprivation is insufficient for liberation. Thoughts, emotions, and desires arise and pass continuously. Awareness of their impermanent nature allows the practitioner to cultivate clarity, patience, and skillful action. True worth grows from the harmonious training of mind, body, and speech, rather than from austere appearances alone. A Jataka story illustrates this principle vividly. A hermit survived in the forest on minimal food, living in simplicity and solitude. Yet he was proud and quick-tempered, often judging others harshly. Another practitioner, who lived with moderate simplicity but cultivated kindness, patience, and awareness, was far more admirable. The Buddha's teaching is clear. Comprehension of the Dhamma surpasses external austerity, producing inner richness that benefits both oneself and others. Modern life offers similar insights. An individual may follow strict diets, rigid routines, or extreme self-discipline, yet remain unhappy, restless, or attached. True merit arises when one cultivates awareness, ethical conduct. Superficial acts of discipline may impress others, but without comprehension, they do not purify the mind. The wise develop mindfulness, patience, compassion, and clarity, which are far more valuable than any outward austerity or deprivation. Even small moments of reflection and ethical action produce lasting merit. Observing intentions, acting with care, and cultivating understanding in daily life create a foundation for true excellence. The practitioner who comprehends the Dhamma nurtures peace within and spreads benefit to others, demonstrating that inner cultivation surpasses all external practices. Daily practice involves mindful observation of thoughts, emotions, and actions, responding with awareness, restraint, and compassion allows the practitioner to align with the Dhamma. Each deliberate choice, whether in speech, action, or thought, develops virtue and merit that endures beyond external appearances. Awareness and insight transform ordinary life into a path of wisdom and harmony. Meditation strengthens this understanding. Watching the arising and passing of desires, aversions, and attachments cultivates discernment and clarity. A practitioner who comprehends the impermanent nature of all phenomena, acts skillfully, and communicates with compassion manifests true value. Inner richness, peace, and joy arise naturally from comprehension, far surpassing any austerity performed without insight. The Buddha emphasizes that the greatest merit comes from internal cultivation. Outward simplicity, fasting, or physical restraint cannot replace the understanding of impermanence, ethical conduct, and compassionate action. Those who cultivate insight embody the Dhamma, creating benefit for themselves and all beings, while achieving inner contentment and enduring worth. Even in challenging circumstances, deprivation or austerity cannot diminish the heart that comprehends the Dhamma. Awareness, ethical insight, and compassionate understanding create inner richness that transcends external conditions. The mind trained in wisdom and compassion holds immeasurable value, far beyond superficial austerity. Friends, the teaching of this verse calls for deep reflection. External acts alone do not produce lasting merit. Insight into the nature of life, mindful living, and ethical conduct cultivate genuine excellence. Every thought, word, and deed becomes an opportunity to nurture virtue, cultivate joy, and create harmony within oneself and the world. The Buddha teaches that external austerity, while admirable in appearance, is insufficient for cultivating true merit. A person may endure hardship, live with minimal sustenance, or practice severe discipline, yet without insight, ethical conduct, and mindfulness, these efforts do not bring lasting benefit. True value emerges from comprehension of the Dhamma and the transformation of the mind through wisdom and compassion. There was a disciple named Upali. Through reflection and guidance from the Buddha, Upali realized that external discipline alone could not purify the mind. Only the cultivation of understanding, ethical behavior, and compassionate intention brings genuine merit and inner tranquility. In meditation, observing the arising and passing of desires, thoughts, and emotions reveals the impermanence of all phenomena. Physical austerity may be easy to notice, yet the subtle habits of the mind determine true value. Awareness of intentions and skillful choices fosters inner richness that transcends external display. The practitioner who comprehends the Dhamma nurtures a heart that is free, peaceful, and compassionate. A Jataka story illustrates this principle. A hermit lived in a cave, surviving on the barest sustenance, practicing austerity day after day. Yet he was quick to anger and judgmental of others. Another disciple, who lived more moderately but cultivated patience, kindness, and awareness, gained true respect from the wise. The Buddha teaches that external simplicity cannot replace inner cultivation. The mind trained in understanding and virtue surpasses all external forms of austerity. Modern life provides numerous lessons. People may adopt extreme diets, rigid routines, or strict schedules, believing these practices increase virtue or merit. Without mindfulness, insight, and compassion, these actions are incomplete. True worth arises when choices align with the Dhamma. Cultivating awareness, ethical understanding, and harmony, The heart that comprehends impermanence and practices compassion holds immeasurable value, regardless of external simplicity. Friends, the essence of this verse is clear. True merit and worth depend on the cultivation of wisdom and ethical behavior. External acts alone cannot purify the mind or transform the heart. Comprehension of the Dhamma, mindfulness, and compassionate action create lasting inner wealth and enduring benefit for all beings. Even small, thoughtful actions produce significant merit. Observing intentions, speaking kindly, and acting with compassion bring genuine excellence. Each moment provides an opportunity to nurture virtue, strengthen the heart, and contribute to harmony in oneself and in the world. Inner cultivation outweighs any external austerity or display. Daily practice emphasizes mindfulness and ethical reflection. Responding with care, observing thoughts and emotions, and acting with wisdom and compassion foster true value. Ordinary actions become expressions of the Dhamma, nourishing the mind, uplifting the heart, and benefiting all who encounter the practitioner. External simplicity becomes meaningful only when paired with inner understanding and virtue. Meditation deepens awareness of the mind's processes, illuminating desires, attachments, and aversions. By observing these phenomena, the practitioner cultivates discernment, ethical understanding, and clarity. Those who comprehend the Dhamma act skillfully, communicate with kindness, and respond wisely. True richness and lasting joy arise from insight and compassion, not from mere physical austerity. The Buddha emphasizes that genuine merit lies in the cultivation of understanding. Outward deprivation or strictness may impress others, yet only insight, mindfulness, and compassionate action produce enduring value. Practitioners who embody these qualities create harmony, contentment, and benefit for themselves and for all beings. Even amidst difficulty or scarcity, the heart that understands the Dhamma remains calm and joyful. Awareness, ethical insight, and compassionate intention create an inner richness that cannot be diminished by external conditions. The mind trained in wisdom and virtue surpasses all appearances of austerity. Friends, this verse calls for deep reflection. External practices alone cannot generate lasting merit. Insight, ethical conduct, and mindful living cultivate true excellence. Each thought, word, and action becomes a seed of virtue, producing harmony, contentment, and benefit for oneself and for all beings. Thank you for watching my video. Namalamat Ba. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time.